2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3. Hey, what's up? It's me, Elay, pronounced like LA, like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. Coming to you live with the next to last installment of the Introverts and Friendship series. I'm so thankful to have gotten this far and thankful that it's about to be over, because that means I can move on to another stage in my life and platform department regarding YouTubing. Okay, so this video here is about an overall wrap-up of 12th grade. I felt it wasn't necessary to really go to 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade individually, because by now you've got the pattern, and by now, as you can see, I didn't have a friendship after I ended the one in 9th grade. I never gained a friend after that I considered one. So I just chose to skip those 3 years and talk about finishing up high school and school in general as a whole. I was so happy to be finished with school as a whole and in general, because I knew I wasn't going to have to deal with those faces anymore. I was ready to see new faces. If I was going to be dealing with the same problems, at least can I have a different setting or new faces to look at and see or be around, because it just got old. No different from paying the old tired bill. You know how people get these loans on these houses and they get the low payments. That's good, but they'll be making payments for the rest of their life. It's like, dog, I'm tired of seeing this same old bill come into my mailbox. I'm tired of this same bill dragging and following me around my whole life. Can I have a new bill? New problems? So that's what high school meant to me, represented to me after graduating. I didn't cry because I was going to miss anybody. Only thing I was sad about was knowing that I was going to be trapped at my parents' house, because I didn't know how to get out. And my dad basically told me with the job I had, I was never going to be able to make it on my own. So I felt really trapped. And then I did have a scholarship, but where I wanted to go, they didn't approve for me to go. And I didn't even realize that at the time I was 18, so I was legally grown and was able to do what I want, but I was so brainwashed and under my parents' control, I didn't take the scholarship and go far away. I didn't have anybody surrounding me, supporting me outside of the family, saying like, well, let me help you. Girl, you got a scholarship, let me help you get there if it's going to be paid for, which it was going to be. I didn't have any of that. It just was them. So I didn't go anywhere. I got a scholarship and I wanted to go to California to the art institute there. My parents wasn't down for that. My mom wanted me to go. If I was going to go to an art school, she wanted me to go to the Art Institute in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, simply because her friend of the Lord lived there. I'm like, I'm not getting ready to go to the Art Institute and be living in her house, because she was overly religious too. I don't need you. I don't need a spy. I don't need someone spying on me, talking about everything I'm doing and going in my drawer talking about what type of underwear she got. Now, I don't know if she's like that. She probably wasn't. But what I'm saying is, my mom went through my stuff all the time. So what chances do I have if her friend is going through my journals and snooping around when I'm not there? I'm like, I'm not going to go all the way across the country just to be under the same treatment. So I didn't use my scholarship. I didn't. I was trapped. That's the only thing I dreaded graduating. I didn't know how to escape from my dad's control. By that time, I was just really screwed up in the head. I had no idea that an 18-year-old meant that you were grown and you could leave the house and And it was really tough for me to find an apartment because when they saw I was looking for an apartment, it was like he would get mad for me looking for an apartment. I'm like, this is stupid. Why are you dictating every whatever, or if it's, or what's the word, asset? It's a word that starts with an A that goes there. Why are you dictating every portion of my life? So it was really hard, it was really even hard to live in my own head because for some reason he claimed he knew what I was talking about. I'm like, this guy is not Christian, he's satanic. It was very tricky. So okay, as you can see, based on saying that, it was even harder for me to find friends because I had a curfew at 18. I had to be home before dark still. I couldn't go to the movies in the evening at night because my dad was worried about that's when all the thugs be hanging out and people be shooting and carrying on. So I couldn't go to the movies. I couldn't go anywhere when it started getting dark. I had to be home before dark, so that eliminated me trying to get out even as a senior or after I graduated to just mingle and maybe catch up. I still couldn't do anything. And I just couldn't leave. I couldn't leave. So even trying to catch up with the people I went to school with before they were lucky to go off to college, that was really tough because some of them had, the class senior parties and they were late. I couldn't go because either I didn't know how to get there because I was that sheltered and really didn't know my way around that little city. That city is small, but I still didn't know my way around that city because I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. So since I didn't know my way around places, and then it was dark when they had the graduation parties, I couldn't go. Then I didn't have friends I didn't have friendships established where they would even feel safe with me hopping in their cars to going. And plus they were going to be able to be out as long as they wanted because their parents actually gave them that freedom to go places. So once I got out of school, it was my imprisonment and chances of making friends were slimmer than ever. And it just was terrible. So now my scholarship, based on that, it was a scholarship. I don't think it was really based on my academia. I did graduate with like a strong B plus. But I got it because of, what was it? It was through some program, like, through some government program, like job placement place, where, up north in Saginaw, there's this place called Michigan Works. And in there they teach people how to get a job, prepare your resumes, help you find scholarships based on your learning abilities, see if you could get grants or strengthen your skills as far as learning computer or getting you set up to learn some type of trade. And at that time the unemployment office was hooked up to that department and this section called the rehabilitation section, and it was like it helped people with like learning disabilities transition from point A to point B. So I think through the rehabilitation system department, that's how I got my scholarship. It was a full scholarship. So I definitely wanted to go to the School of the Arts, but I couldn't. And I remember the counselor, she was so angry at my parents because I came back and told her I can't go. And I honestly didn't know where else to go. I mean, we didn't really have computers or anything, but computers were out, but we didn't have internet, we didn't have computers, and all we had was the library. I worked at the library, but I was even scared to look on the computer in there sometimes just to explore because I didn't want the ladies I worked with all in my business because they were nice and friendly too, but they were nosy, and it's like, man, I wish I just had some privacy sometimes to kind of explore. So I didn't use my scholarship, and the lady was mad because she was really trying to help me figure out a way to get out of the house and use my scholarship. She asked if I had aunts and uncles. I was like, I have an aunt, but my dad don't want me going over there because she's not safe. She smokes and drinks and cuss and have different men coming in and out of the house. I'm like, how are you to know? We can't even go over there anyways. So my dad was really controlling, and if we went against him, he got assertive and violent. He would throw stuff, or he would want to put his hands on you, and he would take things away, like my car and stuff. It was just stupid. Take the car keys, take my cell phone. He broke my cell phone one day just because I just asked him a question like why I can't do anything. He didn't like that, so he broke my cell phone in half. I paid for that cell phone. I worked for that cell phone. That cell phone was a lot of money. It was a Sprint. Like, this is so ridiculous. So, 12th grade year, I was free, but I wasn't. I was free from one burden and went into a deeper burden. So I just continued working at my first job I got out of high school, which was down the street from our house. I think it was exactly 7 houses down from our house was the neighborhood library, so I worked there. So I was like, dang, I love the library, but it's like I'm so tied to this house. And I just didn't have any freedom. I didn't know how to speak because I was worried I was going to say too much and my parents found out and they get mad that I'm telling these people, my business. But I wish I did, because it probably would have helped me get out of the house. I was so embarrassed at that time after I realized that I was 18, now older, that I didn't know I had so many types of freedoms. I started getting more embarrassing because I didn't want to tell people I needed help because I was just embarrassed. And it made me realize just how you can be mentally abused so much, emotionally abused so much, you are arrested. My life was in that house was like, how the elephant story where they say a big old strong elephant, they beat it down so much and beat it down so much and beat it down so much, you can tie an elephant that's broken to a twig and it will be afraid to move despite how strong it is because it would think of all the beatings it got. That was me. So it was embarrassing realizing basically in 12th grade that when you're 18 you are legally grown to do what you want, go where you want. But the thing that was over me, my dad was like, well, if you go anywhere, you're going to get kicked out the house. I didn't have anywhere to go. And by that time, I didn't want to go to my aunt's and stuff because it was just stuck in my head that I shouldn't be there or I wouldn't be safe. He painted a big picture that I wouldn't be safe, or I think the car I had at the time that they got for me, he took that away because he bought it, so it really wasn't my car, so I wouldn't have had a car. What else? Yeah, I didn't have any friends, so didn't have anybody house to go over to, even if I did get kicked out. So I was pretty much stuck. And I was working, but I didn't have enough money saved up to get up a place. It was just ridiculous. So I basically had to sneak out of the house. That'll be another story, though. When I found my first apartment, I couldn't even tell them I was moving. I just showed up with a U-Haul truck and started frantically throwing stuff in the truck before they found some way to keep me trapped in the house. I was so scared. That's another story, and that's the life of me from school to graduation. Life as an introvert on top of being overly controlled and sheltered. I'm glad I'm not there anymore, but I'm sharing this solely because I know this will help somebody. And be braver. And that's okay to feel embarrassed if you are in my situation where you realize you don't have much control. Keep fighting. Fight a little harder. That's okay if you're embarrassed, but get out of there. Find a way to get out. It's me, LA, pronounced like LA like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy.